Welcome to The Naomi Show.
Hello there and welcome to the show, and I'm joined today by psychologist John Aiken, who's here to talk about what men really think about saying those three little words, I love you. Now, John, women seem to feel that men have a bit of an issue with saying these three little words.
Oh, yes.
Is that the case?
Well, look, it is. It is because essentially it takes that relationship to another level. We're talking commitment now. We're talking serious. We're not into the, I like you, you know, this is fun. We get lots of sex going on here, and you know, I can see plenty of casual sort of good times together. This is now moving it to another level, and so for the guy, they're thinking, what does this mean? You know, does this mean moving in? Does this mean meeting the parents? Does this mean I'm only going to have sex with this person for the rest of my life? So there's a lot of meaning attached to it.
Are guys thinking all those things about saying I love you?
Absolutely, it's big.
Damn.
And look, if you can avoid saying I love you...
And women overthink things.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty simple with guys. You know, when you're saying that sort of thing, it means serious, it means commitment.
Right.
You know, you're not in love with someone and then you're going to play the field. Well, it's not a good look if you do that, but generally guys will, you know, attach commitment to saying
So they take it seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we don't like saying it until we're sure.
Okay, but if you've already said it, I have a question from the internet for you. And this girl is asking, how do I get my boyfriend to say I love you more? He says it sometimes, but not often. Can I ask him to say it more, or do I have to accept that that's how he is?
Try and reinforce whenever he says it. Like jump on it, say, I love it when you tell me that, it brings me close, let's go and have sex, whatever it is. But give him plenty of praise and encouragement.
Yeah, but that's like Pavlov dogs, you know.
Well,
it's like
it is. You're basically saying that sort of praise and encouragement, I love, it brings me so close, and you just heap a whole lot of goodness onto him. And what will happen is he'll start to get it that, you know what, it's good for our relationship when we, you know, express those sort of feelings. And you tell him, look, it brings me close, it makes me feel secure. You know, I find you so attractive when you do that. So they just feel really built up and desired. And that way you're encouraging without actually giving them a direction. Because when you sit down and say, you know what, you need to tell me that you love me more or compliment me more, guys tend to get a little bit insecure about getting a direction or being corrected. So try it an indirect way by praising them and catch them when they're good.
Okay, now what if a girl is tempted to ask if the guy loves her when it hasn't been said?
Yes, I would tend to suggest that you're better off having conversations like, you know what, I think you're amazing. You do this in an amazing way. I really love how you do that. You know, your friends are fantastic. So you're sort of indirectly saying to them, I'm in love with you, but you're saying it along the lines of, you're amazing when you do this.
So your advice would be, do not ask if your partner loves you if he's never said it.
No, don't be asking them that, because again, you know, the guy, if he's not feeling that, he'll run. If he is feeling it, he might be getting backed into a corner there. Let the guy come out and say it. But what you're doing there is you're encouraging him by really building him up and saying, you're amazing when you do this, I love it when you do that. You know, there are not guys out there that I haven't met that are like you. You know, you're basically saying exactly that I'm in love with you, but you're just not using those words.
So is your advice then that girls should wait for a guy to say I love you first? Well,
I think that you do need to wait a good deal of time before you're getting that out on the table.
Are you saying that girls shouldn't say it first?
I would say
I think
it can work. Look, it can work, but
you don't want to give a hard and fast rule on this, I can tell.
No, look, I don't. You're right. It can work if a woman says to a guy that they're in love with him first. But what I would do is I would make sure, and we'll talk about some of the signs, that there are signs there, and that you've been together for a while. What you don't want to be doing is saying that first after a short period of time, because essentially you're going too intense, too early. Feelings will become overwhelming and the guy will race out the door.
Yeah,
so you're better off playing it safe, waiting, and seeing these signs.
I have to say, from my own personal experience, I once probably jumped the gun a little.
Yep.
And it was so embarrassing. It really was.
Did he give you an answer?
No, it was so embarrassing because we were lying in bed and it was all fabulous and it was in the morning and I just said it.
Of course.
And he kept going with the conversation as if I hadn't said a word. And so I thought to myself, okay, and in my mind I'm going, maybe you didn't hear it, maybe it was, of course you heard it. But anyway, so later on, about 2 hours later, we were staying in the kitchen, and I said, did you hear what I said before? And he said, yeah, I did. And I said, oh, and how do you feel? And he said, oh, well, I don't love you. So
that's cold. That is
it
brutal.
Wasn't cool.
But you know what?
I've never said it first again. I give you the tip.
Yeah. Well, look,
my lesson.
At least you got that out in the open. But as you say, once you've said that, everything is different.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
So that's why I would encourage people to be sure about where they stand. I think we'll talk about the signs next time. But make sure that you are absolutely aware that there is a lot of meaning attached to saying that. And so think about it carefully and do it later rather than earlier on. Because if someone doesn't have those same feelings,
so
basically it's going to kill the relationship.
Months, you think? Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, John. Thank you for that. And we'll see you next time.
Your love life, let's talk about it at naomishow.com.